Hey world, it's being Willie coming back live. Want to give my family time to come into the garden. A couple of things I want to talk about tonight, guys. I definitely want to make sure that if there's any questions that you have for me, if there's anything that you want to talk about, make sure you go ahead and put it on the screen there, and I'll definitely address it. Um, Today, guys, I just want to actually start out by just addressing something that was a friend of mine and I was talking about today. He's a Democrat, and he's you know, a big advocate of you know getting rid of student debt. I see you, nephew. I see you. Um, but what he didn't understand, like I was telling him, if the student loan debt is, I think, like $1.3 trillion, and I don't know if you guys know, but Elizabeth Warren wants to, she wants to get rid of that debt for all, um, you know, college graduates. Let me see what that number is. Yeah, $1.5 trillion, family, and she want to forgive up to $50,000 in student debt. Okay, for 42 million Americans. All right. Now, to forgive that much debt is going to cost like $640 million. Now, she don't say who supposed to pay that. You dig? So I'm like, and then there's also stipulations on who actually get that debt forgive. Uh, to forgive that type of debt, you got to make less than $100,000, right? Anybody making over what they say over $250,000 a year, you can't get your loan debt forgiven. And so, no. Now this is coming from a Democratic presidential candidate that, um, you know, she's a millionaire. Marcel, I see you. Who's that right there? I see you, Joe. Uh, she's a millionaire. And so here you are having, average citizens. Oh, who's that, Adrian? Yo, I see you, Adrian. Who's that? Hey, coach, I see you. This is my first time going live, family, so I definitely want, who's that? Jose from okay. They would tell us anything they wanted. Exactly. Who, me? Exactly. They're going to tell you anything to get into office. But once they're in office, things change. Okay? Things change. Blue Turtle, I see you. I see you. All right? Things change. And so, this whole notion of, I don't know if you guys, been following me for a while, I've had a lot of individuals tell me that since I don't vote, that why am I saying anything? You can't talk if you don't vote. Which, to me, that's hypocritical in itself. I can say what I want to say. And if I see that, people that you guys are voting for are saying the same things year after year after year and nothing's getting done or nothing's changing, then you have to ask yourself, why are you voting? Because you're supposed to have tangible evidence of change, things that you can see, right? Now, Elizabeth Warren says she wants to forgive, what's that, 45 million U.S. citizens college debt, right? But of course, there are stipulations. If you make over $250,000 a year, you can't have that debt forgiven. And so anybody that's making less than $100,000 a year, you can have that debt forgiven. But see, my point is this. To me, that's still, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense because every time they say they're going to do something, they never do. They never do. Okay? And so, like I said, I hope you guys watched my last video when I talked about what was it, Texas Made? Yeah, Texas Made. They are trying to get rid of everything. I can't. I'm looking at my computer screen, guys, and I'm looking at my phone, and I'm looking at comments from both devices. And it just trips me out because a lot of things that are said are never done. All right, and like I say, those who believe, absurdities will commit the worst atrocities. That's why when you guys watch these Army, Air Force, Marine, Navy commercials on the television, they make that so glorious, like that's a great thing to do, to go to another country and kill other people. I ain't digging that. Okay? So it's like, as a father of 3 sons, I teach them to, trust someone not at face value, because like I say, I teach my sons to understand energy. See, people say a lot of shit. They say a lot of stuff. But I tell you, language was created so people will ignore the true feelings. What I mean by that, you get a lot of people saying things like politicians. And they smile and they saying all this. But how many of them are actually doing what they say they're doing? And how many of you guys can actually look at someone and when they say something to you, you know when it's bull and when it's not? It's the energy. Okay? The difference between us and the animal kingdom, animals, they go on their 5 senses. See, we have the ability to think and create. That's the difference. And we have that 6th sense, that intuition. And if you don't tap into that, then you're going to be misled a lot of times. Just like when I talked about the situation with the cars. And I was just kind of like doing just a random observation today when I was leaving to work. How many Toyotas and Hondas and Nissans am I going to see on the road? I've seen a lot of them. You dig? And, but when you watch the television, they're saying that it's more of a situation where we need to put tariffs and make sure China and Russia, are being equal to us. When those not the ones that are selling those cars. You dig? So, fam, I just wanted to come back with a little information and some clarification. Like I say, don't believe that they're ever going to, relinquish debt for student loans. If they was going to do that, then colleges would actually be providing more students with free education. Remember, colleges, they don't pay taxes. They're nonprofit organizations. Why can't they provide loans themselves? Why does it have to come from the government? Hey, D, I see you. It's all games. Okay? And so, pay yourself first. And if you've been watching me for a while, that's what I really like to harp on, because whether it's student loans, whether it's debt, okay? Pay yourself first. Because a lot of times, guys, like I say, especially guys my age, people that are working, we forget about paying yourself first. And when you forget to pay yourself first, you get caught up in situations where you have to get student loans. You get caught up in situations where you have to go get loans. And remember, if you don't understand interest, then you're going to get caught up in the shuffle. Okay? Chris Harris, is Ford better than Honda? From an investment standpoint, I would say yeah, because Ford pays dividends, okay? Now, as far as driving vehicles, perception is reality. And based on perception, far as the cars, Honda, I heard, is a much better car, okay? But of course, the Ford F-150, the truck, I've heard is a lot better car, a lot better vehicle, okay? But who want to pay that much gas? Who want to pay that much money in gas? You dig? So, and think about it. How many times have you passed Toyota dealerships, Honda dealerships, and Nissan dealerships? Or go to an American car dealership and you see Toyotas and Hondas and Nissans on the lot. Guys, let me tell you something. The reason why Japanese citizens don't buy American cars, because of the stigma of American cars. I'm about to get 4 stocks. Hey, that's a good idea. They pay dividends. And remember, look up their balance sheet information. Look at the financials. And I can tell you Ford's financials look pretty tight. I'm an investor in Ford. I've been investing in Ford for a couple of years now. And like I said, I'd rather be an investor than a consumer. You dig? So, fella, I just want to come back real quick. I'm not going to be live long, fella. I got stuff I got to do. I just wanted to come quickly and share a little information with you. And those who are here with me right now, I really appreciate it. I've been live for 11 minutes and 20 seconds. I got to build up my win. I got stuff I got to do. Fellas, in the meantime, between time, young ladies and elders my age, may the Most High Almighty bring you joy and being with us out of 5,000.